And we are in grade 9 mathematics, and we are looking at prisms. Our topic is prisms. Now, when we talk of prisms, actually we are talking about three-dimensional shapes. Prisms, simply prisms, are three-dimensional shapes. Okay? What do we mean by three-dimensional? What do we mean by three-dimensional? Okay? Um, uh, we have this vertical dimension, the horizontal, and what we could refer to as the length. All right? We would say this is the height. We would say this is the width. We would say this is the length. All right? So this is the vertical direction. This is this one and that one. Okay? Now, uh, we could just draw parallel lines to each of the three. That means here we are going to have this one. Okay? And this line is parallel to this one. For this one, there would be this line. All right? And for this one, there would be this line here. Okay? Yes. Now, let's continue drawing parallel lines. For this one again, we can have another parallel line here. All right? For this one, there could be another parallel line here. Now, for this one, we can still have this parallel line here and here. For this one, we can have another parallel line here. Okay? So for this one, a parallel line here. So you can see that now we come up with uh, um, a shape that has three dimensions. Okay? Now there are vertices. There are vertices. When we talk of vertices, we are talking about the corners here. These corners here. These are the vertices. Okay? These are the vertices. There is one here. These are the vertices. Okay? Where the dimensions intersect or meet, those are vertices. Now, we also have faces. Okay? We also have faces. So the faces are the actually, when you talk of the faces, this is a face, this side is a face, this is a face, this side is a face, the upper side is a face, the bottom side is a face, that side on this is a face, there is a face here. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there are 6 faces. No, is it 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, there are 6 faces. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vertices. We also have the edges. The edges are these dimensions, the lines here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this shape has 12 edges. Now, so we are saying a prism will have vertices A prism will also have faces, and a prism will also have edges. Okay? So you need to understand this. So this is a typical structure of a prism. I was just trying to describe to you what we mean by a prism. So it's a three-dimensional shape with vertices, faces, and edges. All right? Okay, okay. Now let's continue. Let's continue. Now that I have uh, described this to you, I want to also show you that a prism will have a cross section. There is what we call a cross section. This shaded face. This shaded face can be a cross section. That means if we cut the prism here, if we cut our prism, let's say we have a knife and we cut the prism here, it means when we take away this portion here, we are going to be left with a congruent face. When I say congruent, I mean similar and equal face. Okay? We can cut this several slices to produce an equal and similar face. Okay? So such a face, it's a cross section. Okay? Now, that is basically some parts of um, um, a prism. All right. Now, let's get started. Now that I have um, uh, uh, defined a prism. Now, we have several uh, prisms. One, we have a cuboid. Number two, we have a cube. Okay. Number three, we have a triangular prism. And we have a cylinder, and several others. But I would like us to focus on these ones today. Okay. Now let's look at the cube or the cuboid. Okay. Let's look at the cuboid and try to look at the vertices, the faces, and the edges. Okay. Now, when we talk of a cuboid, we are going to talk about um a rectangular prism. If we don't want to say a cuboid, we can say a rectangular prism. A rectangular prism. Okay? The key word here is a rectangle. Now, you know that a rectangle looks like this. A rectangle looks like this. Okay? This is a rectangle. Now, uh, uh, when you talk of a rectangular prism, what must come into your mind is that the cross section of that prism will be a rectangle. The cross section of that prism is going to be a rectangle like this. Okay? Now, now in this case, we have only two dimensions. We have the height and the breadth. Okay? Now, or the base. Now, let's extend the length here. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, so we'll have this side which is dotted. All right, so this could be our length. Okay, so now this is the cuboid or a rectangular prism. Why is it a rectangular prism? Now it's identified by the cross section here, which is a rectangle. Okay, now sometimes you are requested to draw the net of a prism. Let's look at the net of this cuboid. Drawing the net means that you are going to show all the faces. You are going to show all the faces. Okay. Now, if we were to draw the net of this cuboid, we would have something like this. Excuse me. Now, we are going to have this. This. Let's have it here. That's the cross section. Okay. Now, this side has got this side corresponding to it. So we can draw it here also. Okay. From here, there is this. Okay. And this. And this side. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. Okay. There are 6 faces. So this is called the net. This is nothing but the net. The net of the cuboid. Okay. So the net will show all the faces. All right. So we have face 1, face 2, face 3, face 4, 5, and 6. All right. These are the faces. Now we have drawn a cuboid and its net. Its net shows all the faces. Now you need to be able to identify the dimensions here, even on the net. So this long side is the length. So we have that L here, 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 and here. Okay. So now what about this one? What is this side here? The height. The height is here. This one. Okay. What about the breadth? The breadth is here. Okay. And here. All right. What about this? No. This cannot be the breadth. This cannot be the breadth. Let's look at it carefully. This cannot be the breadth. Wow. What a mistake. This cannot be a breadth. This one. Okay. Why? Because this, okay, this side here, this dimension here, this one corresponds with this one. They are going to join together. This side and this side are the same. They are equal. This one and this one, they are going to join together. So that means this is the height. Okay, this is the height, and this is the breadth, and this is the height. Okay. Yeah, it should be like this. So it's good to be able to identify the dimensions on the prism and also be able to identify the same dimensions on the net of that prism. This is the cuboid. This is the net of the cuboid. Let's look at the cube. All right. Let's look at the cube. So the cube is the square prism. What does this mean? This means that the 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 cross section is going to be a square. Okay. It means that the cross section is going to be a square. Remember, a square, when you talk of a square, we are saying the four sides here are equal. So would be the cross section. Now, even the let's say this is the height, this is the breadth, and this would be our length. The length is here. So now this side corresponds to this one, and then we will have the sides on the other side. Okay, this is the cube. All right. So in the cube, the breadth, the height, and the length are equal. So ultimately, we end up saying, okay, let's not say this is the breadth, this is the height, this is the breadth, this is the length. Let's just use S to say side by side. This becomes a side, a side, and a side. So this side, we just use one letter S because we are saying the same side, the same equal side. Okay. Now, when you draw the net of this cube, what are you going to do? It has to show the net has to show all the faces. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. So we are going to show the faces like this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Use a ruler, okay? Use a ruler to draw this side, and this one. Straight ruler, okay? Okay? Then we will have this side also, these faces. All these are squares. So that means the dimensions will be, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces. The dimensions will be S, 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 the same value. Okay? The same value all over. Okay? So that would be the net of our cube. This would be the net of our cube. Okay? This would be the net of our cube. Now we have the cube, it's a prism, then its net would look like this. All right? A triangular prism. Triangular prism. So now from the name triangular, we can easily observe that the cross section will be a triangle. Let's just have a right angle triangle like this. The cross section is a triangle. Now, what we have to do is to draw the length. Okay, so this is a triangular prism. Okay, it's a triangular prism. The cross section is a triangle. So we have the height, we have the base, we have the length. Those are the dimensions, the 3 dimensions. Okay, now if you were asked to draw the net of this prism, what would you do? The net, what would you do? Okay, now this is what you would do. You would understand that the net requests of you all the faces of this prism. Now you count the faces: one, two, okay, three, four, five. There are five. Okay. Now what we do is to draw the net, and then it looks like we have this, something like this. So we are going to have this part here and this part there. Okay. Yeah, we are going to have something like this. So these are the cross sections. Okay. And this one. Okay. Now what do we do? What do we do? Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 um, faces. So this becomes our net. Okay, this becomes our net, the net of the triangular prism. Now it's as easy as this. Now that means if this is the height, this also is the height. Okay. Okay. Now, the base is this the base? The height is here. This is the base, right? This is this side. It's longer than this one. So this would be the height here. This is the base, right? So now that means this ones would be the lengths, and this side and this one correspond. This one is equal to this one. So they have not been labeled here. So we leave them as they are. Now, this is basically the triangular prism and its net. All right. A cylinder. Okay. A cylinder has the cross section as a circle. A cylinder has the cross section as a circle. So now this is the cylinder, all right? The dimensions on the cylinder would be the radius, up to the center here we have the radius, then we have the height. Okay, the radius and the height. Now this is the circumference of the circle. Okay, so if you were to draw the net of a cylinder, uh, uh, what you would do would be to let's say it's a closed cylinder, then you would have something like this. You would have something like this. So this is the upper circle, the lower circle, and this is the curved surface. But now we have actually unfolded it into a rectangle. Okay, it's this curved surface here. Okay, so it's like we dissected this circle here and then opened up this curved surface into a rectangle. So this is the net of the cylinder. There will be the radius here and there will be the height there. Okay, so now this becomes the circumference, this. Okay. Now, this is actually what you needed to know in grade 9 in terms of uh, um, the the prisms. All right, in terms of the prisms. In our next discussion, we will continue with this stuff. But before we wrap it up, I would like us to look at um, a common assignment. This is, say you have a table, you have a cube or a cuboid, you have a cuboid, you have a cube, okay? You have a triangular prism, right? And then you have a cylinder, okay? Like this. Now, here it's number of vertices. Then here you have number of faces. Then here you have number of edges. Okay? Can you copy and complete this table? Copy and complete the table. All right? This is your task. Just have your exercise, copy this table and complete it on your exercise. That means you are going to show us the number of vertices in a cuboid, the number of faces in a cuboid, the number of edges on a cuboid. A cube, triangular prism, and cylinder. And